So we're talking about buying a home today. Maybe you're a growing family, maybe you're tired of renting, or you want more space to entertain. There are plenty of reasons to leap into home ownership, but you want to understand the process first. Liz Gibson, a mortgage loan officer with Navigator Credit Union, is here with some helpful tips. Liz, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So we'll start with what first-time home buyers should know. What's one of the most important things to get started with? I assume that might be the credit score.
I would say your credit. Know the history, know what your scores are. If there's anything out there that needs to be fixed, go ahead and start looking at that first.
Now, what do people need to know about their credit score as it pertains to buying a home? Is there a certain number you should be trying to work toward? Tell us a little bit about that.
Of course, the higher the better. You want to stay at least above a 620, I would say. Of course, you know, like I say, the higher the better. The
higher the better. It's going to help you throughout the process with a higher score. So learn that first. Then another thing you want to think about is how much money are we able to spend determining that down payment. Tell us about that part of the process.
You can get into a home for as less as like 3%. Sometimes you can do nothing down. Of course, it depends on where you are with your credit. Also, there's a lot of things that you don't think about. You know, you have your 1-year insurance that you have to pay up front.
Right.
You have inspection fees a lot of times that people don't consider. And also it is always wise to kind of think about all of that ahead of time as well.
Yeah, and you want to be knowledgeable of what you're going into so you can plan and budget for how much you need to spend throughout the process. One of the most important things is obtaining that pre-approval, because that is the building block where you know, okay, we can search in this range, all that kind of stuff. Tell us about the pre-approval process.
Pre-approval, basically, you know, just verification of income. It's really simple to get everything into us. We can work it up, see where you are debt to income wise, kind of give you a heads up on what to tell your realtor on where your limits are, basically.
If you're trying to start the home buying process, we cannot stress enough that that is the single most important thing you need to do first, because one, you may not be able to be pre-approved, but then someone like yourself can help them work toward that, of course.
That is correct.
And then also you may think, well, we only want to spend $150,000, but learn you're qualified for up to $250,000, or the opposite. Think I want to spend $200,000, but learn you can only buy a home for $100,000. So the pre-approval is the most important thing. Now tell me about comps. Why do you want to compare prices on properties?
Well, you definitely want to know as far as the area, what you're getting into,
right.
Basically.
You don't want to spend $200,000 for a house that should be bought for $150,000.
Right.
So you want some knowledge about that as well. And then this is one thing that most first time home buyers don't know about. It's closing costs. You mentioned this a little bit earlier.
Right.
What are closing costs? Closing
cost is going to be, of course, anything for the title companies. You'll have your appraisal fees. Of course, the insurance, like I said earlier, your taxes, all of that you have to consider all in one.
Yeah, so if you bought, say, for example, a $100,000 home, you put $5,000 toward it, you may have an additional $3,000 to $4,000 in closing costs on top of that.
Right.
So you need to know what you're getting into before you get started. If people want more advice, want to learn more about this entire process, how can they contact you and the folks at Navigator Credit Union?
You can contact us online, of course, as well as in any of our branches.
And which branch are you in?
I am located at the Schillinger and Cottage Hill branch.
So you're the Mobile representative of Navigator Credit Union. We're going to have all our contact information located online, the Studio 10 tab at fox10tv.com. The most important thing is to talk to someone like her before you start their home buying process.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Coming up, we're back in the kitchen with Chef Jonathan from Christ.